Breaking news overnight from Washington. The House delayed a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill as progressives revolt because key senators refused to play ball on President Biden's larger investment bill, which includes funding for child care, education, and climate initiatives. Lawmakers are working around the clock to find a compromise, and congressional correspondent Rachel Scott is tracking it all from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. After a marathon round of late-night intense negotiations, Democrats still struggle to reach a deal, forcing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to push that vote off for a second time. Overnight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi forced to scrap a high-stakes vote on the president's bipartisan infrastructure plan after hours of frenzied late-night negotiations on Capitol Hill failed to unite the party. Pelosi leaving her office at midnight, still insisting progress is being made.
We're not curious.
The White House releasing a statement saying, "We are closer to an agreement than ever." But publicly, the party still appears to be deeply divided. And this morning, those two moderate holdouts, Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, are holding firm.
Their lack of homework is creating instability to this process. What we are seeing from the conservative side, the small cadre of people, is a fundamentally unserious pattern of negotiation.
Progressives in the House say they will vote against the $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure plan unless Congress can pass the president's second, much larger spending package, with funding for a range of initiatives like paid family leave, subsidized child care, and fighting climate change. The price tag, $3.5 trillion. But Manchin wants less than half of that. And to move forward, they need the vote of every Democrat in the Senate.
My top line has been 1.5 because I believe in my heart that what we can do and what the needs we have right now and what we can afford to do without basically changing our whole society to an entitlement mentality.
Progressives say that's too low, refusing to downsize.
Senator Manchin has said that 1.5 trillion is his top line number. Could you see yourself coming down?
Look, we are in the same place we've always been. We put out an offer for $3.5 trillion. In fact, 96% of Democrats in the House and the Senate support that number.
So the White House says negotiations will pick up right where they left off this morning. Pelosi did not rule out trying to hold a vote today, but George, she still has a lot of work to do to unite her party.
She sure does, Rachel. Thanks. And top White House aides are huddled in the negotiations on Capitol Hill. The president working the phones. Press Secretary Jen Psaki conceded that the legislative sausage making is not pretty.
That's how democracy should work. We're in the midst of it right now. We're not trying to paint over how messy it looks from the outside. We know that. But what the good news is that there is agreement that we need to do more to rebuild our roads and railways and bridges. We need to address the climate crisis.
Biggest challenge yet for President Biden. Let's go to our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran, at the White House. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. This morning, the White House putting a brave face on what is a tough day for the Biden agenda and the Biden presidency. Aides insisting that this is just one step in what is always the long, difficult process of passing major legislation. Democracy is messy, they keep telling us. But last night, in the final scramble to get anything passed on the Hill, it seemed more than messy here. No one really seemed to have a real grasp of what was going on. Plans changed back and forth on whether the president would make a public statement. He hasn't spoken publicly since Monday, and the mood here veered from giddy hopes to exhaustion and resignation. There's just no papering over how tough a blow this is to President Biden. He's the leader of his party. Democrats set this deadline, and he failed to unite the party to get it done. But they're putting their shoulders to the wheel here this morning. As you heard from Rachel there in a statement last night after it was all over, Press Secretary Jen Psaki saying progress has been made, but, quote, we will need some additional time to finish the work starting first thing this morning. George?
Okay, Terry Moran, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.